All right, today we're stepping onto the factory floor for a real head-to-head battle. It's a packaging showdown between two absolute titans of the industry. The vertical form-fill seal machine, that's VFFS, and the horizontal form-fill seal machine, or HFFS. So let's dive right in.
And look, this isn't just some theoretical debate. The choice you make here, it has huge consequences. Picking the wrong machine could literally mean shattered products, tons of wasted material, and a real painful hit to your bottom line. The stakes, they're incredibly high.
Okay, so let's meet our contenders. In this corner, we've got the VFFS, the gravity-powered specialist. Think fast, super efficient, and just direct. And in the other corner, the HFFS, the precision-driven protector. Gentle, versatile, and all about protecting the product. We're talking two totally different fighting styles for two very different jobs.
So to really get what makes these two tick, we've got to look under the hood. We need to understand how they actually work. And you know what? It all boils down to one simple thing. Their basic operational logic. Vertical versus horizontal.
First up, VFFS. And really, the clue is right there in the name. It's all about working vertically. The whole principle is actually beautifully simple. It just uses gravity as its superpower. The machine pulls film down over what's called a forming collar. And boom, you've got a vertical tube all ready to be filled from the top.
Let's walk through that step by step. First, the film gets pulled down and shaped into a tube. Then, zap, the bottom is sealed. Next, the product is literally just dropped right in from above. And finally, the top gets sealed, the bag is cut, and it's on its way. It's this continuous, top-to-bottom flow that's just built for pure, raw speed.
All right, now for our other contender, the HFFS. And this machine, it completely flips the script. Forget gravity. This one is all about a straight line, horizontal conveyor belt. The products travel flat, parallel to the floor, moving through the whole process one careful step at a time.
And this process, right here, really shows you the massive difference. First, the product is gently placed on the conveyor. Then, the film is brought to the product and wrapped around it. And only then does it get sealed. See? The whole thing is designed around careful handling and super precise placement. And that, as you're about to see, is absolutely crucial for certain products.
Okay, we've got the mechanics down. So now, let's get to the tail of the tape. It's time for a real head-to-head, data-driven comparison, looking at the numbers that really matter on the production line.
So this table really lays it all out, and you can see some fascinating trade-offs right away. At first glance, it looks like VFFS is the clear winner on things like footprint, material waste, and how much it costs up front. But hold on, HFFS has its own strengths. Let's break down a few of these key numbers to really get the full story.
Okay, let's talk material waste first. VFFS systems are just unbelievably efficient. We're talking less than 1% of the packaging film gets wasted. Now that might sound small, but when you're running high-volume production, that tiny number translates into massive savings on materials, not to mention a much smaller environmental footprint.
Now, HFS systems, they're a bit different. You're typically looking at a higher waste percentage, maybe somewhere between 2 and 5%. But, and this is important, that's not a flaw. It's a trade-off. That little bit of extra waste is what you get when you're creating those fancier, more complex packages. Like stand-up pouches with special holes or nice rounded corners.
And the upfront cost? Well, that's a pretty big difference too. VFS machines generally have a lower entry point, which makes them a fantastic option for, say, small to medium-sized businesses. That higher price tag you see on the HFFS machines, that's all about its mechanical complexity. We're talking more moving parts, more precision engineering, and of course its ability to create those really premium-looking packages.
Now this next point is all about agility. Check this out. With changeover times as low as 5 minutes, a VFS machine lets you switch between different products or bag sizes insanely fast. And that is a huge advantage in today's market, where you're often running smaller, more varied batches of products.
Okay, we've crunched the numbers, we've seen the data. So what does this all mean in the real world? The big question is, how do you match one of these machines to the exact product you're making?
Well, let's say you're packaging something like potato chips. They're bulky, they're lightweight, and they're free-flowing. In this case, VFS is your undisputed champion. That vertical drop just lets the chips settle naturally into the bag. It's fast, it's efficient, it's perfect.
But what if your product is something totally different? Say, a solid but really fragile chocolate bar. Can you imagine dropping that from a height? It'd be a complete disaster, and this is where HFFS delivers the knockout punch. Its gentle, horizontal conveyor makes sure that bar is handled with care from the very beginning to the very end.
Okay, one more example to really drive it home. Frozen peas. Just like the chips, right? They're small, they're granular, they flow super easily. This is another clear-cut win for VFFS. That gravity-fed system is just perfectly designed to handle this kind of product with amazing speed and accuracy.
All right, so we've covered the mechanics, we've looked at the data, and we've seen some real-world examples. Let's bring it all home now and distill everything down into a simple framework to help you make that final decision for your production line.
So here's the final verdict, the bottom line. You're going to want to go with VFS if you're dealing with bulk items, powders, granules, even liquids, and if your main goals are cost effectiveness, speed, and saving space. On the flip side, you'll choose HFS for solid items, fragile products, or if you want to make those premium stand-up pouches. HFS is all about product protection, gentle handling, and creating complex, beautiful bag design.
And you know, there's a line from our source material that just sums this up perfectly. It says that choosing between these systems isn't about which one is better. It's about which mechanical logic fits your product's DNA. I love that. The DNA of your product. It's about finding the perfect match.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final question to think about. This isn't just about what you're packaging today. It's about where your brand is headed tomorrow. When you think about your future products, your sustainability goals, the trends in the market, which one of these machines is going to be the one that secures your company's future? Something to think about. The choice ultimately is yours.